Proverbs 3 tells us to lean not on our own understanding, but that is much easier said than done when we feel we have everything under control. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're journeying to a village called Ark to meet a woman named Dani. She was a master of her own path until the mist rolled in and her understanding broke in the palm of her hand. Let's look at what happens when our self-reliance runs out and God's guidance begins. In the village of Ark, the name Dani was synonymous with the wayfinder. While others feared the shifting mists of the valley, Dani possessed a natural instinct for the trails. She carried a brass compass, a family heirloom that had never failed her. But life in Ark had become heavy. A season of drought had withered the crops, and a quiet bitterness had begun to wither Dani's spirit. She felt that her prayers were hitting a ceiling of brass, much like her compass. One morning, Dani set out toward the great ridge to scout for a hidden spring. She remembered her grandmother singing songs about this water when she was just a child, songs that spoke of a source that never runs dry. Relying on her skill, her map, and her trusted compass, Dani was determined to find it and save the village. As she ascended, a thick, unnatural fog rolled in. It wasn't the usual mountain mist. It was a cold, suffocating gray that erased the trees and the sky. Dani reached for her compass, but as she looked down, her heart sank. The needle wasn't pointing north, it was spinning aimlessly, trembling with a jagged, broken rhythm. The internal pivot had snapped. For the first time in her life, the wayfinder was lost. Panic took root. Dani tried to muscle her way through, running in directions she felt were right. Hours passed. She grew exhausted, her boots caked in mud, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She had relied so long on a tool and her own internal rhythm that she had forgotten the lessons her grandmother had whispered by the hearth, that the heart must listen before the feet can move. Falling to her knees by a jagged rock, Dani wept. "I've lost the way," she whispered. "I can't see the path, and my guide is broken." In the silence that followed, the scripture her grandmother had made her memorize surfaced in her mind. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." Proverbs 3:5-6. Dani realized she had been treating God like her compass, a tool to be used only when she needed a direction, rather than a shepherd to walk with. She closed her eyes, ignoring the broken needle in her hand. "Father," she prayed, "I am blind. You see the ridge. You see the village. Lead my feet." She stayed still for a long time. Then she felt a slight, consistent breeze against her left cheek. She remembered her grandmother's voice. "The wind of hope always blows from the east, Dani." When you can't see, just feel for the breath of the Creator. She didn't look at the compass. She didn't look at the fog. She simply moved toward the feeling of the wind. Step by agonizing step, Dani walked. The fog didn't lift immediately, but her heart did. She stopped fighting the mist and started trusting the wind. Suddenly, the gray thinned. The sound of rushing water hit her ears like a symphony. She had found it, the living spring, not by the needle of a compass, but by the surrender of her will. When Dani returned to Ark that evening, her clothes were torn and her compass remained broken in her pocket, but her face shone. She told the villagers that the water was found, but more importantly, she shared the wisdom her grandmother had tried to teach her all along. A broken compass is a blessing if it teaches you to walk by the Spirit instead of your sight. The living spring was always there. Dani just had to stop trusting her own instruments to find it. Is there something in your life you've been leaning on too hard? Perhaps it's time to let it break so you can finally hear the still, small voice. Thank you for spending this time on the Living Metaphor today. If this message resonated with you, please hit the like button and share it with a friend who might be feeling lost. God bless, and we'll see you in the next video.